Hey everyone. You can probably tell like from my grin, I'm excited to be back. Like thank God that I'm able to continue doing this. For anyone who is unaware, like this isn't the only ministry steps that I take. Like there are other things that I do as well. Bible study, facilitating Bible study is one of those things as well. Even just living it out your day-to-day life. Whether you're doing things quote unquote publicly for God or not, maintaining your relationship with God yourself is still always gonna should always take priority. Like you have to make sure that you're in good standing with God, um, and that you're living the testimony. You're living, trying to step right. That you're keeping him in remembrance. That being said, I'm still glad to be able to do this again. Long story short, because it's been a while, I had to take a step back from this to do some health maintenance. And I don't think you should ever be ashamed to anyone. I don't think anyone should ever be ashamed of uh, self-care. Like you're not going to be good for anybody else if you're not taking care of yourself, right? And as a person who might like to give to others and always be available to others and just kind of be you know just there for people on all sorts of levels. I think that's the type of person that often underestimates the strain that's being taken. Like the toll that's being put on their own spirit, body, mind, whatever, because you're taking in all of that burden from other people, and you might not realize what you're adding on to yourself. Hence, of course, this is one of the many layers of Jesus's redemptive story, his salvation, his saving grace, his removing the burden from us to take it upon himself, because he's the only one who can take all of that from everyone, right? Like we as humans, no, it's not sustainable. So I want to throw that out, and and just keep moving forward. Stay close with God, as my mom has always told me. The safest place to be is in the will of God, and that will stand always. Like as long as you're in the will of God, um, I mean that's the best place to be. Where else would you rather be, right? Where else would you consider yourself safe, like outside of his will, outside of his protection, his wing, just man. So like I said, that all being said, I wanted to get that out the way because it's been a while since I've been on here, but it's not like it's been a lack of, I don't know, whatever people can conjecture and think. But today's topic is actually pretty serious because now let me say this really quick. I have made videos in the past, even way before I started doing this. I would always post online about things or talk to people, one on one. And, when you start talking about the meat of the Bible, when you start talking about the ramifications of how sin always leads to death and about the end times and the rapture and all of that stuff, you get all these different oppositions to that. You get all these different positions, and many of those positions are opposing what you're saying, even if it's like verbatim something that Jesus said, right? Looking through the four gospels, if you take anything that he said, and if someone doesn't agree with it, you're like, dude, I'm literally telling you what the Bible says. I'm literally telling you what it says, where you can find it, read it for yourself. It's not a hard interpretation, i.e., you don't have to read too far into it to just get the basis of what it's saying. And then people will still oppose it. And these are the same people call themselves Christians or whatnot. I'm like, oh, I don't believe that. Like, man, okay, you're cherry picking, but whatever, right? But where was I going with that? I'm just going with the fact that I've been doing this for a long time, and it didn't just start here online. And I found that holding certain positions of belief, people will come against you, people will rail against you, scoff at you, they will call you a liar and false prophet and all types of weird stuff, just for you simply holding a different position on something that actually may not be as clear cut and dry as it may seem. Just take the subject of the rapture for example. I mean, just you talk to 10 Christians, like you're gonna find those who do believe in Jesus Christ wholeheartedly, but they don't believe in that, or who hold a different position, or pre tribulation, mid tribulation, post tribulation, millennial, all of those type of things. And it's like, look, the truth will unveil itself at its proper time, when God reveals it at its proper time. I believe that's why it's called the book of Revelation. Like, since the beginning, it's been an unveiling of everything. You've probably heard the term of, like, the Old Testament is concealing and the New Testament is unveiling or revealing, right? And then the last book of the Bible being the book of Revelation. Like, okay, everything at the end is being revealed, like a veil being, taken back, or the sky pulling apart like a scroll, things like that. Like, that just makes sense to me. So I really do believe that as time moves forward, we're not getting any further from the end times. We're getting closer, right? That's like logical thinking, plus it's biblical thinking as well. So, getting into this, I'm not entertaining people at all who, will say one thing or another against the position I take on the rapture. For example, I believe the rapture is going to happen before the Great Tribulation, as well as the tribulation period, the beginning of Jacob's trouble of that 7 year period. That's the way I've read the Bible. It wasn't just a way of being taught. It's the way that I understand it from reading all of the Old Testament, all of the New Testament. That's what makes the most sense to me, and that's my understanding. Whether I'm right or wrong, it does not take anything from my position and faith away from Jesus Christ at all. Because if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm right. But at the end of the day, it's God who decides what's going to happen. So I don't understand why people I don't know if it's a pride thing, if it's just something else. Again, I'm not dogmatic on, yes, it is for sure that way. That's the way I believe. But regardless, my anchor is in Jesus Christ, no matter what. And whether I'm right or wrong, that's not going to change where my belief stands. Like, it's not going to change it. That being said, I've had a lot of people come against me on that thought, and I don't care. You believe what you want to believe. If you're still within the faith of Jesus, holding him as your Lord and Savior, great. That should always be our focus, our anchor. And certain things that aren't as clear cut and dry in the Bible, if you hold a different position, then you just do. But I'm not going to work to convince you otherwise if you don't. Again, that's all in God's hands. Just worry about staying in the faith and living out your faith the best way you can. Done with that. All right. Hopefully it'll probably be addressed again at some point, but for right now, I'm done with that. I'm feeling too refreshed, too thankful, too just satisfied and gratified by God's work in my life. And I just want to stay closer to him. And I'm always open to learning more and more and more. That's why we read our Bibles. That's why we have edifying conversations. And that's why we continue learning and staying close to God. So the meat of the Bible, or the meat of this message, rather, that has to do with the Bible, is this started, I'm just adjusting my glasses here. This started, I believe, this April. Well, it was in April, but it was this past Easter. I don't know if it was the Saturday morning or the Sunday morning. I actually have to check my journal to see when I wrote this dream down. But regardless, for a long time, I had like stopped having, well, I would say, any kind of strong spiritually connotated dreams. Like, that's been a thing that's been off and on through my whole life. And really all that is to say is God will reveal what he chooses to reveal to whom he chooses to reveal it to, when he chooses to reveal it, right? So what the message is, who the message is given to, when the message is given, that's all according to God. We don't get to choose that way. I mean, we can pray all we want about certain things, but it's still up to God on when he answers that prayer and how he answers it and all of those things. Like, I'm not going to fret about that stuff. So it was a long time for me before, since the last time that I had any end times rapture-esque sort of dreams. And lo and behold, like, you know, some people might think, well, it might be influenced by you thinking about it all the time or anything like that. Like, nah, this was just me, normal. I actually had stopped kind of thinking about that type of stuff, just make my peace. Like, you know, when it happens, it happens. When it doesn't, it doesn't. We see the times that we're living in. You have to be a blind Christian to not see what times that we're living in. I mean, at least what we're leading up to. So I put it down, like not on the forefront of my mind whatsoever. And honestly, that was the way it was with a lot of the dreams. It seemed like it always happened when I wasn't thinking about it, which says something, right? I am a psychology guy. I know all about the Freudian stuff. So that too is something that I'm just like, no, it's all up to God. Um, but so this dream happened, like I said, right there around Easter. It was either the day before or the day of, and it was a full blown rapture dream completely. Like it was a type of dream that woke me up wanting more of that dream. And sometimes I go into detail about these things, sometimes I don't. That was one, I think I had only mentioned it to one other person, like, and it wasn't online or anything like that. I'm pretty sure I only mentioned it to one other person on the details of that dream. But keeping it short, it was a dream that followed the trend that has been going on for a while. And this video I can see is going a little long. So let me wrap it up. But I will promise this much is that if God wills it, I'll do a follow-up video and get into more detail because it's been more than that dream. It's been several since. And that's why today's May 5th. And I'm like, nah, I need to make sure I get this message out there because could it be just for me? Absolutely. It could just be for me, that keeping me focused and making sure that it's not too far gone out of my mind. Could it be for other people? For that same thing that I just explained, the reason why it's for me, like could it be for them too? But so by them hearing it through someone else, could be the case too. But at the end of the day, I still believe that it was from God. This has followed the trend of all of these dreams that I've had. Kind of there's always something going on in the sky. Rather it's night or day is kind of negligible. Sometimes it's night, sometimes it's day. In this one in particular, it was at a looks like at like just before dawn. So it was like in the progression of coming from night to the morning, which looks awfully similar to dusk as well, right? And that's, yeah, that's what it looks like in the dream, the setting. And then there's there's always something going on in the sky, like something noticeable, but it's always people who aren't aware of it. Like, don't you see those 3, 4, 5 planets in the sky? And then people are like, no, I don't see anything. And I'm like, it's right there. Like literally, these look like other planets in our sky or moons or whatever the case. They're celestial bodies big enough to see. You don't know how far or close they are, but they're noticeable in the sky. And it's that's always the running trend of these Rapture as dreams. Like it deviates a little bit, but that's the center of it. It's like it's always something noticeable in the sky. I'm always aware of it in the dream. Like I'm always aware of what's happening in the sky, and I'm always aware of what time it is. Like, nope, we're getting ready to go. God is on his way, or there's some type of sound that's alerting, like a trumpet sound or something, or like some type of royal kind of chorus sound, you know, some type of angelic singing. Something is going on where it's like an announcement, like make way for the king, he's coming. And that's just always so exciting to me in a dream. And then it's always me just like trying to get as many people as I can, whoever's near me. I've gone on like Facebook Live or something in these dreams, whatever the quickest way to try to tell as many people as possible. That's usually the route I take in these dreams. And you know, when it's time, like it'll wrap up, like either being taken up, or like you see a like a portal opening, golden portal, like that's the thing, like a big flaming door, a flaming golden cross, something like that, something so noticeable where, like I said, I mean, it's just like you have this knowing of what's happening, and then the dream will end. And it just I wake up and I'm feeling, you know, happy. I'm feeling like, man, this God is letting me know that times are getting closer to this, to when that happens. We don't know when it's going to happen. Like I said, you see the signs of the times, you see what's going on. It could happen any day. So Message today is, just partner with God, stay in the will of God. Do everything you can that is right towards God. Be safe out there, in anything we do. Just try to level up your relationship with God. How about that? Like that's what we can do at any point in the day, just getting closer to God. So that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up because this is much longer than I thought it was going to be. Um, Positive comments, questions, all of those things, I'm always open to that. I really plan on, since I took a break from this, I feel pretty refreshed to continue doing this. So hopefully this will keep going on, and I do want to do a follow-up video on this in more detail and about many of the other dreams that I've had as well, like since April, or since Easter till today, on some of the other dreams that I've had. That's Rapture related. So that being said, you all have a good one. Stay blessed. Jesus be with us all. All right, bye.